All right, folks, local government will come to order. Mr. Clerk, will you please take attendance?
First time ever since you become chair.
Yeah, that's great.
I prefer you.
All right.
Good morning.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum?
And I think we have, two joining us virtually, is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
All right, we've got a little housekeeping to do this morning. The first thing is, maybe this will clear out some folks either here or virtually. I have a letter from Senator Edwards regarding his Senate Bill 132, and he requests that it be continued to the 2023 session. And so I think we need a recorded vote on that. All right, in a second.
Second.
All right, go ahead with her. Open the roll.
Senator Bell, how do you vote?
Senator Bell votes aye.
Senator McPike, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ayes 14, no zero. My apologies. Ayes 15, no zero.
All right, and then next up, I believe Senator DeSteff with Senate Bill 602 wants to address that.
Yes, sir. On Senate Bill 602, short-term rentals, I had been asked to carry this by one of my constituents, knowing that this was going to be a controversial issue. After I started carrying it, I found out that there were a number of lawsuits on this one that are still pending and active, and had an additional conversation with our city council members. The individual that asked me to carry this bill was very happy that the communication within our council, that they had another discussion on it, so that made the individual happy. But we typically, I don't think we ever really carry any bills that have so many lawsuits on it. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to strike that bill, as I told individuals I would when I found out there were so many pending lawsuits.
All right, very good. Senator DeSteff would like to strike his Senate bill. Is there a motion on that?
Second.
And moved and seconded that we strike Senate Bill, what number is it?
602.
602 from the docket. We need to open the roll.
Senator McPike, how do you vote?
Aye.
Senator Bell, how do you vote?
Aye.
And we all owe Senator DeSteff a debt of gratitude on this Monday morning.
Ayes 15, no zero.
All right, and so next we're going to hear from Senator Spruill's Charter Subcommittee. Senator Spruill.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. How you doing this morning?
Fine, thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, the charter bills, they all went easy. We got two. Most of them are pretty much the same thing. So I talked with Jeff, and he said that we could put them all in one block except two that has an amendment.
Okay.
So 91, 92, 97, 164, 182, 274, and 322. They all were approved by the full committee, the subcommittee unanimously.
Unanimous vote.
Yes, sir. So I recommend approval of those
All right,
five in the block.
All right, we've got those bills in the block. If anybody has any objection to putting them in a block, let us know. Oh, wait a minute. Told we're missing one, Senator Spruill. 99.
All right, thank you. 99? Thank you.
All right, so here we have 91, 92, 97, 99, 164, 182, 274, and 322 are currently in a block. All right, is there any motion on those for passage in a block?
So move.
Moved and seconded that those bills in a block be reported.
Senator Bell, how do you vote?
Aye.
Senator McPike, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ayes 15, no zero.
All right, those
Thank
bills are reported. Senator Sproul, you've got
Thank you.
two
Yes,
that were not
yes.
in the block.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Senate Bill 58, I believe the charter changed from the city of Portsmouth. There's an amendment, Mr. Chairman, I'd like for Jeff to read, please.
We got an amendment on that, Jeff?
Okay, Mr. Chairman, this is Senate Bill 58. The amendment is online currently. It corrects a mistake in the title where we strike recall of elective officers and insert city council non-interference. And then we also strike the on line 20, after the word manager, we strike the remainder of line 20 and all of line 21 and through the word member on line 22. So it simply removes that sentence from the bill.
All right, okay. Is there a motion on the amendment?
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moved and seconded that that Senate Bill 58 be amended. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, the amended bill's in front of us. Is there a motion on the amended bill?
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that Senate Bill 58 as amended be reported.
Senator Bell, how do you vote?
Aye.
Senator McPike, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ayes 15, no zero.
Great. What's next, Senator Sproul?
Senate Bill 253, Mr. Chairman.
253. All right, let's take a look at 253.
And was approved by the committee 5-0 with an amendment. Jeff, please.
Mr. Chairman, this will be a substitute amendment, and it's also posted online. And the substitute merely removed a couple of the sections from the bill that the city ultimately did not want amended. So all it's remains is the provisions relating to the mayor.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, question to Jeff, please.
Yep, Senator Sproul.
Jeff, one that they changed the date of election from May to November. They removed that. I have a heartburn about that one, so I want to know, by doing that, do they still have to apply what the law says, that the election will be in November?
That is correct, Senator Sproul. Regardless of what's in the charter, the state law says they will need to move their election to November, so that would have no impact. The charter amendment would have no impact on that.
Thank you so much.
All right, is there a motion on the substitute?
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we adopt the substitute for Senate Bill 253. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
With that,
All right.
move to report as amended.
All right, we've got a motion that Senate Bill 250, the substitute for Senate Bill 253 be reported. All in favor?
Senator Bell, how do you vote?
Aye.
Senator McPike, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ayes 15, no zero.
Okay, let's look out here. Do we have any patrons in the room?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, I'm sorry, go ahead.
The,
Yeah, Senator Hanger.
On the charter report, I didn't hear Senate Bill 699. Was that a part of the first block?
It was not, Senator Hanger.
Okay, that was reported out unanimously from committee this morning.
That'll be next week.
Oh, that's going to be next week, okay.
we'll do it next
Okay,
week.
we'll do
Yeah.
it fast track. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hook you up, brother. I'm gonna hook you up. Don't worry about it.
Nice cover, huh?
Mr. Chairman, that completes my committee report.
All right, thank you, Senator Sproul. Scanning the audience, we seem to have some patron issues.
Mr. Chairman, if you want, I can do real quickly SB 255 since I'm going to request it be carried over.
Yeah, that's right, Senator Bell. I'm sorry, I had that on my list.
This was the one for the wireless infrastructure over the towers. We did some deeper diving and found a couple other issues that might be problematic. So I've worked with the chair of the Broadband Commission, Senator Boysko, and we're going to study that over the year. But I ask that you carry this over for the year, please.
Okay. Senator Bell has requested and moves that we carry his And it's moved and seconded that Senate Bill 255 be carried over to the 2023 session. All in favor?
Senator Bell, how do you vote?
Aye.
Senator McPike, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ayes 15, no zero.
Ayes 15, no zero. The bill is carried over. Senator Donovan, I hear your voice down there.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, would
feel
you like
like
me to
doing
go to the
437?
podium, or may I present from here?
I'm sorry, what did
Would
you
you
say?
like me to go to the podium?
Wherever you're comfortable.
Okay, I'd love to stay here.
All right.
So thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. I have Senate Bill 437 before you today. This bill seeks to include public school education foundations in the opportunity to participate in, Virginia-based insurance programs. There's no fiscal impact. This is directly from my own locality, where we have a really robust education foundation that is raising money to offset the cost of education, improve it in Henrico. And it's hard for them to hold on to employees, and it's hard for them to fund the cost of insurance, and this just allows them to participate in the state-based programs, Mr. Chairman. Happy to answer questions.
Are there any questions from the panel for Senator Donovan on 437?
Question?
Yes, Senator Favola.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Would the employees of this foundation be participating in the Virginia retirement system? So there would be some state match as well.
I'm going to let my locality speak to that, and
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Mike Sherman with the County of Henrico. If I might have a moment to phone a friend and
Okay.
get a good answer on that for
Madam
you.
Chairman, Mr. Chairman and Senator Favola, I believe that this has no fiscal impact after it's been evaluated, and to my knowledge has not been requested by Finance.
They do want it?
They do want to see it. And
okay.
I think, Mr. Chairman, I think part of it might be the VRS participation, which is, I'm not opposed to the bill. I just raised
I
it.
specifically asked that question as well
As
as
a
we
fiscal
started.
issue.
All right, why don't we just let this simmer here for a few minutes and move on
Thank
to
you, Mr.
something
Chairman.
till we get some definitive answers. And Senator Hackworth is chomping at the bit to get 720 out of here, so you're on.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Senate Bill 720 basically would allow regional IDAs and IDAs the capacity to offer incentives to non-authority or companies that are located on private properties. For example, in rural counties and especially in Southwest Virginia, if we have buildings or properties that businesses want to come in or expand, the IDAs are not able to improve those properties because they are not owned or leased by them. So what this would do, that would give them the opportunity for regional IDAs and IDAs to be able to offer those incentives.
All right, that's the bill. Do we have any questions for Senator Hackworth on Senate Bill 720? Nobody has any questions? Anybody in the audience want to speak in favor of 720?
If you are in the Zoom room and would like to speak in favor of this bill, please raise your hand electronically now. There does not appear to be any at this time, Mr. Chair.
Move report.
Well, let's just, for giggles, see if anybody's opposed to it.
If there's anyone in the Zoom room who would like to speak in opposition to this bill, please raise your hand electronically now. There does not appear to be any at this time, Mr. Chair.
Senator Spruill, you knew that, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
All right. It's been moved
And I'll second it.
and seconded that Senate Bill 720 be reported. All in favor?
Senator Bell, how do you vote?
Aye.
Senator McPike, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ayes 15, no zero.
Ayes 15, no zero. The bill reports.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I have got Senator Survell still on here for 251. He is on his way? Okay. And do we have any answer on Senator Donovan's bill yet? Senator Donovan, have you heard anything?
No, sir, he's working on it right now. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
Mr. Chairman, you've got quite a few here.
Yeah, I've got a few. I'll let you go at the end, though.
Mr. Chairman, I believe that Mike Sherman from Henrico.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, my understanding at the moment is that the employees we're talking about are not members of VRS, but they would fall under localities' health insurance plan under this bill.
So, Mr. Chairman, just a follow-up question.
Sure.
So there would be no state contribution in this? There'd be
That is
no
my
state
understanding, yes, ma'am.
fiscal impact?
Yes, ma'am, that's my understanding.
But finance still has to see this, so they may do a double check, I guess.
Right. And Madam Chairman, thank you so much. It does specifically, Madam Chairman, Mr. Chairman and Senator
That's okay.
Favola, it does actually say group life accident and health insurance and not VRS. So in the first line, 14 and 15, it clarifies.
Correct, but it
Yeah.
could have been, it didn't specifically exclude VRS. That's why I asked the question.
Okay. All right. Well, then, Mr. Chairman, based
Yep.
on that, I think we can look at this bill and consider referring to finance for further.
All right, is there a motion on the bill?
Second?
Report and re-refer to finance.
Yes, sir.
Yes. That is the motion to report and re-refer to finance. All right, everybody ready to vote? I'm sorry, wait a minute. Did we finish taking public comment on that? Do we have anybody opposed to that? I don't think I asked.
If you are in the Zoom room and would like to speak in favor of this bill, please raise your hand electronically now. There does not appear to be any at this time, Mr. Chair.
All right, great. So we've got the motion in front of us to report and re-refer to finance. All in favor?
Senator Bell, how do you vote?
Aye.
Senator McPike, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ayes 15, no zero.
Ayes 15, no zero. The bill is reported and re-referred to finance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Sorrell, 251.
Mr. Chairman, I have a substitute.
All right, there's a substitute for 251. Is that on the system, Jeff?
It's not on the system yet.
It's very different than the original.
That's what I understand. Thank you for that.
Got it yet?
It is online. All right, so the substitute's online.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Tell us what let's move on the substitute, please.
Second?
Moved and second, we adopt the substitute for 251. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, 251 is the substitutes in front of us. Go ahead, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the bill, as amended, basically directs VDOT to convene a working group, including a bunch of local governments and transportation entities in Northern Virginia, to conduct an assessment of how much bike and pedestrian and traffic calming infrastructure is needed over the next 20 years in Northern Virginia, so we can get a number to aim at. And there's one line amendment that's needed. I think inadvertently the NVTA got taken out of the bill. It has the NVTC and the PRTC, but not the NVTA. And so it does need a quick line amendment, adding the executive director of the Northern Virginia Transportation Authority or his representative somewhere in line 9, 10, or 11 or somewhere in there on the list that's in there. If somebody wants to make that, I'd appreciate it.
Does anybody want to help him out? I didn't think so.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the amendment regarding MVTA be accepted.
All right, and Senator Stanley has seconded it. So all in favor of the amendment? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, as amended, the purpose of the bill is to try and figure out how much of a need there is. There was a plan that came out recently that said we need to spend about $1 billion on a bike plan for the entire DMV, not just Virginia, but the whole D.C. metro area to complete the bike network in Northern Virginia. But there's also just a massive amount of pedestrian needs, especially as we build out all the transit facilities and stuff we're doing in Northern Virginia. And right now, none of those projects compete under either Smart Scale or the NVTA formula. And so the idea is to try and figure out a number and then maybe ultimately a way to pay for it. But Right now, we just need to figure out the number collectively amongst all the jurisdictions. So that's basically what the bill is aimed at.
All right, any questions for Senator Sorvell on the substitute for Senate Bill 251?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I was a little concerned about why this wasn't in transportation prior. And with the substitute in front of us, again, I can understand a little bit of local governments, but primarily I think this should be in transportation. However, if the committee wants to, I mean, I don't have a problem with the bill as amended, with the substitute, but I'm not sure it's in the right committee.
Mr. Chairman.
Yep, Senator Sorvell.
I think it ended up here just because the original statute it was drawn to was in Title 15.
15.2.
Yeah, whatever it was, yeah, 15.2, and that's why it came here first. That's why. But I don't care where it goes, but I think it's basically a study analysis bill to come up with some numbers that I don't think it'll. I'm happy to take it to transportation if you want to send me there, or if you want to do it here, I'd be great too. I don't care.
All right, does the committee have any preference on that? It's in front of us. We've heard it. It's been substituted.
I'm willing to act on it, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All right. It's been, well, let me see if is there any, I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah. Is there any public comment on this? Is there anybody here to testify in favor of 251?
If you're in the Zoom room and would like to speak in favor of this bill, please raise your hand electronically now. There do seem to be a few, Mr. Chair.
Okey-doke.
So, Mr. Chairman, I move that we report the bill and
Well,
refer to finance.
Wait a sec, we gotta let these folks have their say.
Mr. Tyndall, please unmute yourself and please begin your testimony now.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Brantley Tyndall with Virginia Bicycling Federation, and we support this bill, and a number of our member organizations in Northern Virginia also do as well.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Kenny Bodie, please unmute and begin your testimony now. Kenny Bodie, there we go.
There you go. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kenny Bodie. I am an elected representative here in Prince William County. I sit on the Prince William County Board of Supervisors, representing the Occoquan District. I also support this bill as we often talk about the missing middle of housing. I think that finally getting a number and beginning to attack our smaller projects, such as bike ped projects, is how we attack the missing middle when it comes to our transportation network. Prince William County is the second largest locality in the Commonwealth. We have a lot of pedestrian needs. We have a lot of multimodal connectivity needs, especially when it comes to bicycles and pedestrians. And getting a number will help us begin to grapple that as a region, especially as we find ourselves always in a situation where we don't have enough funds as a local government to tackle some of these medium-sized projects. We can tackle the smaller ones, individual speed table here and there, crossing here and there. But as Senator Sorvell said, these don't score very well with our regional funds and our regional monies. This will be that first step in allowing us to do that. Thank you so much to Senator Sorvell for presenting this study. I look forward to hoping you all pass this unanimously. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Everyone else, have a great day.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Anybody speak in opposition of 251, the substitute for 251?
If you are in opposition to this bill and would like to speak to it in the Zoom room, please raise your hand electronically now. There do not appear to be any at this time, Mr. Chair.
Great. Senator Favola, do you have a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move that we report the bill and refer the bill to finance.
All right. Motion and seconded that we report the substitute for 251 and re-refer it to finance. You open the roll.
Senator Bell, how do you vote?
Aye.
Senator McPike, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ayes 15, no 0.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Sorvell.
Charters went in a block, I heard. Is that right?
They did,
Okay,
yes.
great, thanks.
Yeah.
It's dragging.
The only one left on the docket. I've got 3 of them here.
Move the report.
McClellan? Oh, is Jen here? Oh, okay. Senator McClellan, I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
I snuck in while Senator Sorvell was presenting. This is Senate Bill 476. It adds the Chief Executive Officer of the Capital Region Airport Commission, which is the entity that runs Richmond International Airport, as an ex officio non-voting member of the Central Virginia Transportation Authority. It basically puts the airport in the same posture as the Port of Richmond so that the authority can have a more complete view of the transportation needs of the region.
Are there any questions of Senator McClellan for Senate Bill 476?
He really knows how to knock it out of the park.
No questions from the panel or from the committee on 476. Is there anybody to speak in favor of Senate Bill 476?
If you're in the Zoom room and would like to speak in favor of this bill, please raise your hand electronically now.
I can say that the airport and the authority both support it.
There does not appear to be anyone in favor at this time, Mr. Chair.
Anybody against Senate Bill 476?
If you're in the Zoom room and would like to speak against this bill, please raise your hand electronically now.
Great. Is there a motion on Senate Bill 476?
I move that we report Senate Bill 476.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we report Senate Bill 476. Could you open the roll?
Senator Bell, how do you vote?
Aye.
Senator McPike, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ayes 15, no 0.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator McClellan. Now, I think that does complete it, except for my 2 or 3 bills that I have on the docket. Let's start with, I'm going to present from up here, and I guess I'll turn it over to Senator Howe. You want to? So I've got Senate Bill 501, and this is a familiar concept to those of us here on the committee. What we're doing is extending the validity for these various project approvals for another year. We did this in 2020 when we extended it from July 1, 2020 to July 1, 2022. And the reason we're back again is simply because I don't think anyone anticipated that the pandemic would be as ongoing or have as much effect on these plans and projects, permits, and the various approvals that had been had as they do. In addition to that, that's been compounded by the peripheral pandemic impact, and that is on the supply chain, on getting our products and so forth available for these projects. So this bill seeks to extend for one more year these projects and plans from July 1, 2022 to July 1, 2023. And again, I was one of the first who said when I carried this bill before that we didn't anticipate being back. But again, I don't think anybody anticipated this thing lasting as long as it has. And so that's the genesis of the bill. This bill is supported by the home builders, by the realtors, by the Virginia Housing Alliance, Northern Virginia Chamber, Roanoke Chamber, Chesterfield County Chamber, Arlington County Chamber, Prince William County Chamber, and obviously speaks to the fact that its merit. It has a great deal of merit in what it intends to try and do. So again, this is just another pandemic-related consequence that we have to try and deal with. So that is the bill. Oh, and I'm sorry. There's one other thing in the enactment clause. You'll see that it also allows localities to have some discretion and to extend the validity of approvals made prior to 2015, and so that's in the enactment clause too. That came at the request of several localities, so we stuck that in there as an enactment clause. So that's the bill, Madam Chair.
Are there any questions for the chairman? Would anyone in the room care to comment on this bill?
If you're in the Zoom room and would like to speak to this in favor of this bill, please raise your hand electronically now. Chip Dix, please unmute yourself and begin your testimony.
Excuse me, we're going to hear from people in the room first.
Oh, excuse me, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm Eldon James on behalf of the Virginia chapter of the American Planning Association, and I appreciate the builders bringing this bill so I can stand up again and speak against the chairman's bill. A couple points to make. This is put forward as dealing with the housing crisis, but yet it applies to all approvals, including non-residential. Let me give you a practical example of why this concerns the chapter. We have a county that just went through an extensive public process to update their comp plan excuse me, in 2019. They're in the process of now modernizing their zoning ordinance to match. Once they complete that process, there are plans that would have normally expired and would come under the new rules when somebody came back with a new proposal. But these older, what we will call stale proposals, are still alive. We are concerned that this sets things up so that improved environmental protection, improved affordable housing efforts, and similar cannot come into play for a project that has gone dormant. One more thing to add, and I apologize for trespassing so much on your time. In querying our members, we know of no locality where the developer has come and said, we need more time because of supply chain issues or what have you, that they haven't said, that's fine. We will extend you. Everybody's trying to work together. We therefore don't feel the bill is necessary. It is the projects that we never hear from, that are really not ripe for the market, that really should go away. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I should have put a time limit. I didn't. So let's make 45 seconds.
All right. Mr. Chairman, Andrew Clark with the Home Builders Association of Virginia. We do support the bill. Like Senator Lewis said, this is simply a measure to mitigate the pandemic's effects on lot supply, which for the housing industry is one of the biggest concerns and really driving up prices. And so we're simply just trying to give folks an additional year to get their projects moving. And I would say in response to some of the concerns that localities haven't been hearing from applicants because the General Assembly has elected to automatically extend those plan approvals. And so I'm happy to answer any questions about the specifics of the bill, but would be appreciative of your support. Thank you.
Madam Chair and members of the committee, Phil Abraham, representative Virginia Association for Commercial Real Estate. We also strongly support this bill. As Senator Lewis mentioned, not only do you have problems getting local governments to act during the pandemic, but you have considerable supply chain problems. And we looked at my firm looked at doing a small 4,000 square foot build out, and we're told it would take at least 7 months to get a contractor going. So you can imagine for a bigger project how long it would take. This is just a small margin of relief. We appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, Joe Lurch with Virginia Association of Counties. Just to echo some of the concerns raised by Mr. James, our members have pivoted well during the pandemic, doing a lot of inspections and meetings online. Our planning commissions and boards have continued to meet to consider special use permits and rezonings. This is a broad sweeping action that goes beyond the housing crisis, that gets to other types of projects, particularly those legislative acts of local governments. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the Zoom room?
Chip Dix, please unmute and begin your testimony now.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Can you hear me?
Yes. You have about 7 seconds.
Support the bill, and what I'd say is that a lot of local governments and state governments are still working on a hybrid basis. And one time last fall, I talked with a state agency head who told me 5 employees were there for the entire state agency. It slowed down the review of plans. So we believe this is a reasonable solution. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
If there's anyone in the Zoom room who would like to speak in opposition to this bill, please raise your hand electronically now. There does not appear to be any at this time, Madam Chair.
Is there a motion on the bill?
Move to report.
It's been moved and seconded that Senate Bill 501 be reported. Please record your vote.
Senator Bell, how do you vote?
Aye.
Senator McPike, how do you vote?
Aye. I'm having some technical difficulty here. My screen is...
Lewis votes nay.
Yeah, just to spice it up. There we go.
I want to speak about my bill.
Ayes 15, no 0.
Ayes 15, no 0. The bill is reported.
Thank you, Senator Howe.
Your next bill is, I believe, 503.
Yes, 503. If I get that. And there is a substitute for 503, I believe. Okay, which is online, I'm told.
What is the substitute, Mr. Chairman?
It's been moved and seconded the substitute be adopted. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's adopted.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members of the committee, this bill is designed to help out our planning district commissions. As most of us know, these planning district commissions provide an invaluable function to our localities and our regions in the Commonwealth on a host and variety of issues. So PDCs advance their public purpose by leveraging federal and state funds they cobble together from all sorts of pots of money. But these grants require the expenditure of funds before requesting reimbursement, before the PDC can request reimbursement from the funding agency. And so this limits the PDC's ability to conduct the public business and do the vital things that they do for our communities. So what this bill does is create a revolving loan fund for the PDCs so that they can apply for these loans on a cash flow, as needed cash flow basis, so that they can apply for and obtain these grants. And I was given one example to highlight what the problem we're trying to address here with this legislation, and that is from the Middle Peninsula Planning District Commission. They were awarded a $2 million Department of Transportation grant to study, design, re-engineer publicly owned waterfront sites owned by or used by the seafood industry. The annual operating budget for the PDC is $750,000. So they weren't able to accept the grant. This short-term VRA PDC revolving loan fund will allow the PDCs to conduct the work as provided for in the grant. So again, it's a cash flow, help these folks apply for these grants so they can get these things going before they can actually apply to the funding agency for reimbursement. So that's the bill, Madam Chair.
Are there any questions of the patron? Yes.
Madam Chair, Mr. Chairman, what's the amount of money to be put into the fund?
I think we've got a budget amendment on that, but I can't recall.
Mr. Chairman, I read the budget amendment. I didn't see an amount in there, and that was kind of my concern.
I am not
Unless
sure.
it's been
Senator
updated.
Steph. That's a good question. I'm looking to see if I have something in here about that.
He said no.
Yes, this will be needing to go to finance.
So it's going to finance anyway, so. And it is a loan fund. It's a revolving loan fund. It's not a grant.
No further questions. Would anyone in this room like to speak in favor of the bill?
If you are in the Zoom room and like to speak in favor of this
Anyone in
bill,
opposition?
please raise your hand electronically now.
It's been moved and seconded that Senate Bill 503 be reported and re-referred to finance. Please cast your vote.
Senator Bell, how do you vote?
Aye.
Senator McPike, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ayes 14, no 0, abstentions 1.
Ayes 14, noes 0, abstentions 1. The bill is reported. And I believe you have one more.
I do, Madam Chair, and I would ask the committee, with the committee's indulgence, if 732 could go by for the week.
Without objection, 732 will go by for the week. And here's your gavel back.
Thank you. All right, is there anything else to come before the committee? I think that completes our docket for this week. We've got one more meeting next week. All right, and then we are adjourned.